the New Jerusalem. Silver cities.
So let's move to the temptation. Now these are all Chinese characters. So what I'm trying to show is that the basic stories that we find, which I would call general revelation, which is the Garden of Eden, the flood of Noah, and the Tower of Babel, are universal stories that were the stories in this primeval culture before they dispersed throughout the world. And they took these bits of the story with them wherever they went. Here we have the temptation. This is motion. This is a garden. This is like a rice paddy. Man. And this means privately. It probably evolved from the nose, from the a pictograph of the nose. Here's a nose like this. And the thing about the nose is that in the United States, if you say, hey, you, and they'll go, me, we point to our heart. In the Orient, they point to their nose. So if you go, hey, you, and they go, me, they point to their nose. Why? The nose means me. The nose means personal. The nose refers to yourself. So it has the idea of private. It only refers to you. Something secret. So we have motion, garden, man, private. Secret garden man, put it together, and it's their meaning for devil. The secret garden man. So we have your secret man, garden, alive, is devil. But if you put devil with the two trees and a cover, it means tempter. Now I didn't make these up. This is what it means. You can look them up in the Chinese dictionary. If we take woman and secretly, there's the nose again, mouth, the idea of secretly eating, privately eating, we have the beginning. It means beginning. Parentheses, beginning of sin. If we take body, that's the picture of a body. This is the character for is, tree. Body as tree means to hide. Serpent was hiding in the tree. What about the flood? Well, I didn't write too many things here for the flood because it just got too long, but 8 united earth means total. There were 8 people that survived the flood. There was Noah and Noah's wife, Noah's 3 sons, and their 3 wives. That's 8 people. 8 united on earth is everything, total. Plus water means flood. So flood can be broken down as 8 united on earth with water. Tower of Babel. Mankind, one mouth, means united. Plus grass means to undertake. Why plus grass? Because in order to make brick, you need straw and you need mud. So you take the grass, and it means undertake. You add clay to it, it means tower. I didn't make this up. This is what it means. That's how you break tower down from these other radicals. All flesh followed equals scatter and disperse. Great division west, walking, migration. The Chinese have a record of the Tower of Babel. Is this how all the similarities of the Savior stories can be found in all the religions of the world? Here's something that's interesting. This is from Josephus. In the Antiquities of Josephus. If you know who Josephus is, he wrote the Jewish Wars, and he's a very intelligent man, and he's writing about the descendants of Seth. Now, Seth was the son of Adam, and he says of them They also were the inventors of that peculiar sort of wisdom which is concerned with the heavenly bodies and their order, and that their inventions might not be lost before they were sufficiently known. Upon Adam's prediction that the world was to be destroyed at one time by force of fire and at another time by the violence of and quantity of water, they made two pillars, one of brick and one the other of stone. They inscribed their discoveries on them both, that in case the pillar of brick should be destroyed by the flood, the pillar of stone might remain and exhibit those discoveries to mankind, and also inform them that there was another pillar of brick erected by them. Now this remains in the land of Syria to this day. Now, one person's interpretation of Syriad is that Syriad is a contemporary name for the territories in which Sirius was venerated, in other words, Egypt. Is there a pillar of stone in Egypt? There's the pyramids. But it's odd, that peculiar sort of wisdom dealing with the heavenly bodies and their order. We're back to Mott again. We're back to the precession of the Equinoxes. We're back to the Pyramid of Giza pointing to Thuban and pointing to Orion and pointing to Sirius in the Queen's Chamber and pointing to the constellation that holds the new North Star. This has to be related. Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. Let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth. And they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Is this possibly how, from some mother culture, we were able to find a little bit of the Savior story in all these different cultures? Now, this is kind of interesting. This is kind of maybe hard to explain. If you look on the left, that is the Sumerian list before the flood. If you look on the right, it is the Bible before the flood. And on the left, we have 432,000 years. The 10 kings, if you add it together, 432,000 years, which of course is rather ridiculous. And if you look on the right, we have 1,656 years. Now, this has been kind of a source of a problem, because if you're going to be a fundamental Christian, you have to take the Bible literally. And you can't pick and choose. If you're a good Christian, you have to believe that from Adam to the flood was 1,656 years, because they counted up all the genealogies. And it comes out to 1,656 years. Well, my question is, that means if the flood was supposedly 2348 BC, this is when Bible scholars say the flood must have been. It means Adam was created in 4004 BC. Well, that's not so hard to understand, because 4000 BC was when Thuban was the North Star. That's when we begin this whole process of finding the second Adam. The second Adam is the Savior. First Adam fell, and the promise was made that the seed of the woman would bear someone who would come in the course of time and redeem what Adam did. So if Adam did what he did in 4000 BC, that would make a lot of sense because 4000 BC was Thuban. But if it means that the earth was created in 4000 BC, here's where fundamentalist Christians go wrong. Couldn't have been. Earth can't be 6,000 years old, right? But again, now if you're a true Christian, you have to believe the earth is 6,000 years old. But here's what was revealed to me by Joseph Campbell when I read through one of his books. I forgot which book it was.